to Effective Note-Taking Tutorial number 3. In this tutorial, we will look at various strategies for using your notes to learn the material covered in lecture, and of course, to study for tests. Even when it comes to taking notes and then using them to study, it is important to know your dominant learning style in order to choose study strategies that work best for you. Everyone has a dominant learning style. Are you a visual learner? If so, you understand and remember things best through sight. Auditory learners learn best by hearing and listening. And finally, if you are a tactile learner, also called a kinesthetic learner, you learn most effectively by touching and doing. And although most people do favor one of the three learning styles, many people do use a combination of two or all three. So depending on your learning style, even where you choose to sit in class can have a big impact on your effective note-taking and ultimately your overall learning. On this slide, you will see how to access an online learning style assessment quiz. The quiz consists of 20 multiple-choice questions. Your answers to these questions will help to indicate your primary, secondary, and tertiary learning styles. The results are also accompanied by very helpful study strategies to most effectively utilize your primary strength. If you have another device handy that has internet access, you can pause this tutorial and take the quiz now, or simply pause the tutorial and write down the information on this slide for access to the assessment later. Regardless of your dominant learning style and as a result how you take notes and then organize them for study, research has shown that you will retain the most material if you review your notes within the first 24 hours after the lecture. Also, if you learn the material for the class in small chunks as you go, you will have very little studying to do right before a test. You should just need to review the night before. And connections can best be made between one lecture and the next if you also arrive early to the next class and review your notes again right before the next lecture. Color coding your notes is a very effective study tool. How you choose to do this is typically up to you. But to get you started, you might want to assign a different highlighter color to each major topic and use that color to highlight all of the supporting information and vocabulary for that topic. Once you have your outline notes color-coded, it becomes quite easy to then mind map or chart your notes. These study techniques are very effective for the visual or tactile kinesthetic learner. Note Talk is a very effective study tool. Make a list of your highlighted vocabulary and concepts from your outline notes or from the left-hand column and vocabulary section of your 2-column or Cornell notes, and describe or explain each of them out loud as if you were teaching the material to someone else. Hearing the material in your own voice and putting the material into your own words is a great study tool for any type of learner, but especially for the auditory learner. Another good tool for the auditory learner is to simply read your notes into a tape recorder and listen to them while waiting in a doctor's office, driving to work, waiting in line at the post office, etc. And for the visual and tactile kinesthetic learners, make flashcards of key vocabulary and concepts. Term or concept on one side and definition on the other. Not only will you be doing as a tactile learner, but the visual learner will be able to see the material from their notes in smaller bits, making it less overwhelming and easier to memorize. And of course, acronyms like PMAT for the phases of mitosis and acrostics like Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge for the notes of the musical scale can help all styles of learners to memorize and enhance recall. And one last thought, it might be a good idea to form a study group with others in your class. Not only are study groups a great way to review material with your classmates, but study groups also give you an opportunity to regularly check your notes with those in your study group to make sure that you did not miss any key concepts, and the opportunity to get notes you may not have gotten due to absence from class. But remember, if you're going to give your notes to someone else in the class who was absent, make sure that you give them a copy of your notes. Accidents happen, and you certainly don't want them losing your originals or spilling their coffee all over them. This concludes our third and final tutorial on taking effective notes. I hope that you have found these 3 tutorials helpful. If you have any further questions, please come see us in the Learning Lab in room 205. We will be happy to answer any additional questions you may have on note-taking, and we will also be happy to talk to you about our free tutoring opportunities for improving your learning and success at CMC. We are here to help.